Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This time we're on episode 8 of season 4. Last time we had a hell of an episode. We had the Ghost Rider goodness, and we had the Ghost Rider leaving Robbie's body from the parallel dimension that him, Coulson, and Fitz were sent into after Eli activated the machine, and then he went and then it went into Mac's body. Mac very briefly became the Ghost Rider. He didn't fight people as a Ghost Rider. He fought people with his kind of own Ghost Rider enhancements, but he didn't actually fight anyone with the skull head. We still got the flaming skull. We still got the very cool flaming skull for him, and we saw his very refined cheekbones and everything after his skin burned away, which was cool. But we got him very briefly as a Ghost Rider, and then through the Ghost Rider being in him, we got some actual proper kind of defined communication between the Ghost Rider and Robbie for the first time, because even the Ghost Rider in that scene had established that this was the first time that they were talking face to face, as opposed to it just being like a little voice in his head the entire time since it had actually been passed on to him by Johnny Blaze. So that was very cool. But we saw that Robbie and Fitz and Coulson had actually been blasted into not only into another dimension, like into another kind of parallel kind of limbo like Lucy and her team were, but they were actually sent further into that dimension than Lucy and her team were. So they were never able to manifest themselves as ghosts or communicate in the same way that Lucy was, and stuff like that. So it brought in some very, very kind of authentic and very, very emotional kind of acting chops from all of them. And, we got some very, very special moments here and there. But we had that. We had Mac, the Ghost Rider. I think once it entered Mac's kind of mind and analyzed his soul, it discovered that he lost hope. So I think looking back through editing, I did actually kind of get to rehear the Ghost Rider actually saying, like, oh, Mac has a lot of pain, he lost hope. So I thought, I think I might have heard that the first time around, but I just thought, he meant actually, like, it meant in like the metaphorical sense, like he's lost hope, he's no longer optimistic about the future, that kind of thing. But then he did have the same word, hope, written on the back of something, presumably a picture with an actual date on the back of it too. So I'm all the more curious as to who is on the other side of that picture that we haven't seen yet, or what's on the other side, because then I've been doing some thinking, and I'm thinking, it wouldn't, I personally don't think it would be completely implausible for it to be a daughter, maybe, because, like, he seems old enough to have been a dad. I think, like, not to judge him by his appearance too much, but he looks like he could have been old enough to be a dad at one point, and he could have actually maybe had a daughter, either maybe he like a marriage that didn't work out, or because I feel like if he had that kind of relationship already, then we might have already known about it, because we definitely found out about May's marriage before we lost Andrew. But then maybe in Mac's case it's a very, very different case, or maybe he even adopted a child, or just something happened. But either way, I feel like I get kind of daughtery vibes, and I think and I think girls are like in my kind of viewing experience through like movies and shows, like girls are more likely to be named Hope than boys are. So I think I wouldn't put it past it being a son. But again, it's like I get more like a father losing his daughter many, many years ago and learning to move past it and let go of it kind of vibes from that alone. So it'll be interesting to see nonetheless as to what the truth is. But he lost hope, and as we saw in the end, it was something that he seemed to have been able to move past for a good while, for at least a good few years. But then the Ghost Rider being in his mind again, and like unlocking that kind of very traumatic memory was enough for him to actually bring that picture out and be staring at it and having an eye full of tears. So Mac was crying. Mac was in tears after being reminded of what he had lost. So yeah, but then Robbie came through in the end. He came through the portal that Ada had built, and he made a new deal. He made a new deal that actually prompted the Ghost Rider, the Rider, to actually leave Mac's body, and he said, you help me settle my last score, which is Eli ending Eli's the last score. So you help me you help me settle that last score, and I'll help you settle all of yours. So yeah, so then I'm curious. I'm also curious as to what the Ghost Rider scores are what kind of scores he might have to settle, what kind of vendettas he might have, like if it's actually Earth based or if it's down in Hell where Mephisto is. And yeah, I think again, I know no point looking for Mephisto in this series or in this show as a whole, because he's not showing up. Because if he did, then again, the fandom would be all over that. There would be no searching for Mephisto in WandaVision, or even by a stretch in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So Mephisto, he is literally yet to show up in any of the Marvel products. So So yeah, the closest live action we've got is literally Mephisto in the actual Nick Cage movie. So that's literally the closest we've got. But in terms of MCU stuff, no appearances whatsoever. So just know that even if I do bring up Mephisto in the middle of a reaction, even if I do question if we're going to see Mephisto, it's literally just me, making like ever so slightly exaggerated, far stretch kind of guesses, or just me playing off the joke. I'm never being serious. It's like, oh, we're gonna see Mephisto now. We're gonna see Mephisto. I'm never gonna be serious about that. I know it's not gonna happen in this show. So just like as like a little warning in advance, don't take don't take it too seriously. But yeah, so whatever the Ghost Rider scores, I think I'm curious as to whether we'll see those scores as well, or if it will just be like a case of them ending Eli in this episode or the next one, and then Robbie saying, "Oh, he has to return to hell now to settle to settle the rider scores once and for all before he comes back." Well, what's gonna happen? But yeah, I have no clue. But he has also enlisted Max A too. He did come back and then asked, and then he asked Mac if he wants to help him settle his last score. So I think that one is in relation to Eli, because like I think Daisy did tell Coulson and May before she left that Mac had actually managed to get one kind of lead onto Eli and his true and onto a potential location. So I think that's like. So that's like a potential lead that Robbie and Matt can track down together to find Eli and to end him and to probably get him into containment, maybe send him to the raft and stuff. So yeah, I'm hoping that is the path they go down to. I think for one thing, it would be like a really cool kind of tie-in to to the raft. It's been featured in the movies and in the Disney Plus stuff as well. But I mean, the raft being there, like that connection would be really cool to make. And also, it's like the raft. It's like basically Ironheight, but for Marvel. So it's like the ideal place to keep someone like to keep him under wraps and to keep him contained and everything. So it's the perfect prison. So yeah, I'm hoping that is what ends up happening. But yeah, I mean, also I think I guess I can kind of see them actually putting him away in this one too, actually finding him in this one, actually putting him away good once and for all, and then ending that whole kind of story. Like, so then the Darkhold stuff can easily continue, but then the whole kind of Lucy and Joseph and the particle generator and Eli stuff, that can probably come to a swift and satisfying end in this one. But we'll see. But that is all that happened on that end. And then we had Ada. Ada did some interesting stuff. She read the Darkhold, so they gave it to Radcliffe first, and he was terrified of what. I mean, he was terrified of what he saw that it could do, and feared its kind of effects on the human mind. So then Ada, being non-human, not even inhuman, just non-human, her being like an android, like she saw it in binary code, so she understood perfectly what had to happen. So she unlocked the necessary knowledge, and she understood and discovered the solution they needed, the solution they needed, which was to build an interdimensional gateway that looked oddly enough like a Doctor Strange thing. And I think someone mentioned in the comments that in the comments that she actually used boxes. So I'm wondering if it's actually the same boxes they found that the other ghosts had actually been trapped in, because I think those ones were filled with interdimensional energy too. So I think if they could actually mold those together into that one giant portal ring, then it would also kind of help, and especially since it draws energy from other dimensions, so that would be the key to kind of actually doing what needed to be done. So then she pulled together and she did some line work with her magic glowing gloves and everything, so that was cool. So she pulled through and helped Coulson and Fitz, and in the end Robbie come through. And in a bit of a mid-credit scene, we saw that she was actually building herself a brain. She was building her brain, so that was a very interesting note to end on. So that kind of prompted many more questions as to what she's really planning, and also why she's building a brain too. I mean, it looked definitely like a human brain, like size and I mean, the shape of brains, I guess that can differ among species, but I think the size and shape of the brain did definitely kind of ring human bells. So I assume that's a human brain, and also she is humanoid too, Radcliffe very, very intentionally made her to be a very attractive human woman, so a human brain would be the one that fits best. So I think I'm wondering if that is like her attempt to try and become more human, or if maybe if she's just going to become more self-aware too. Maybe if she's actually going to relate to humans more after building herself a brain, but then she's also just going to become self-aware, maybe even more than Ultron was, or more effectively than Ultron was, or something. So I'm really curious. I'm really curious as to what path they're going to take her down. If she's actually going to be like a villain, or if she's just going to be like some kind of dodgy antagonist or shady kind of antagonist, or if she's just going to be like a robot that just can't really be trusted in the end. What's going to happen? So very much look forward to seeing her future on this show. So that's Ada. And Simmons had been called away. Simmons had very, very discreetly been called away to actually help uncover the inhuman husk that had been found in Senator Nadia's apartment. And it's a guy in there, presumably her brother, presumably someone she knows, someone related to her, likely her brother or maybe even a friend. But he is an inhuman, and he'd been in that he had been in that shell for 7 months. He'd been gestating in there for 7 months, and he hadn't come out yet. So then she helped to talk slowly and to kind of introduce him into this new world and to lower his heartbeat a bit, and then the shell actually started cracking and the face showed a little bit, so then he came through, so that was fun. And then as soon as it was over, like as soon as he was out of the shell, as soon as they had unlocked the shell, as soon as she had unlocked the shell, they just packed her away. They just put the mask over her head again, and then just shipped her back off to S.H.I.E.L.D. And then and then the Fitzsimmons reunion came, and that just blew me away. So the Fitzsimmons reunion came. Fitz had been worried sick because, you know, for one thing, he mentioned that they'd actually had an argument before their separation, and now this thing happened where him, Coulson, and Robbie were actually gone and sent to another dimension with, you know, like no, like strong chances of actually being sent back. So he was very worried about what happened, and then Mace had actually under pretty much under the nose of everyone else. Like Mace had actually sent her away, God knows where, to some uncharted mission under the orders, under the request of Nadir. So he was understandably very worried about losing Simmons and stuff, but he got her back. Fitz got his Simmons back, and Simmons got her Fitz back. So all was right in the end, except for Daisy still choosing to leave S.H.I.E.L.D. So hopefully, give me my Daisy and Fitzsimmons and S.H.I.E.L.D. reunion soon, please. Give me my Quake Fitzsimmons soon. My Quake Fitzsimmons or Daisy. I think Daisy Fitzsimmons works better. I think give me my Daisy Fitzsimmons reunion soon. I need that trio. I need the. I think there's actually a name I've seen for them online. I think it's the Bus Kids. I think it's the Bus Kids. I think that one. That one actually rings a bell, Bus Kids. I don't think it makes sense because they are the original kind of kids of the bus. So like the Bus Kids reunion, give me the Bus Kids reunion, give me the Bus Kids season 4 reunion. I need Daisy officially, admitting to her own faults, but also kind of accepting that she can still be with the team and still be happy with them and everything. I need that reunion. I need that reunion. So hopefully soon we can get it. Yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from the last episode, so on to episode 8 of this miraculous season. On to the reaction for episode 8. So in terms of reaction, this one, as always, will only be the fair use version, the highlights and the best bits of the episode. But if you guys want to catch the full-length version, that one will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. So that one will be cool too. But yeah, on to episode 8 of season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let's go.
Hard day's work deserves a hard day's pay.
Oh.
Hope you take diamonds.
Oh, he materialized diamonds inside of the dude.
They're unrefined, but they're priceless once properly cut.
Oh, once properly cut. Oh. What's he creating? Oh, it's a giant box. It's a giant version of that same box with the interdimensional energy. Okay. Oh, that's a good transition. Yeah.
What else is he capable of?
We need the big guns on this one, and Yo-Yo, Daisy, and Reyes are the biggest.
Yo-Yo, yes, bring Elena back. Bring Elena
What
back.
about the science team?
Bring back Elena.
Ada specifically. I mean, she did, after all, bring you and Agent Fitz back from. What did you just say?
An android.
Had me fooled too.
But
that's.
I mean, forget about the fact that I was mildly attracted to her. It goes against the Sokovia Accords. Doesn't anyone remember Ultron?
Oh my god.
Sir, we really don't have much time.
Why would you feel guilty about being attracted to Ada like that,
Director needs to
though?
know what
You know,
assets he has at his disposal.
I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of thoughts you're having.
Could be an asset. A risky
Oh,
one, but
boy.
it's your call.
We'll dismantle her afterwards.
No, you're swording her? You're pulling a Hayward? You're pulling a director Dickwad Hayward?
Right. But Coulson?
You cannot dismantle her, no.
Daisy out of sight.
It's not a mask. It's a balaclava.
Thought that was a dessert.
What?
That's something else. There is a dessert, but along different
Just wants you to keep a low
pronunciation.
profile.
Yeah.
The guy you answer to is a lot more unforgiving.
Yeah, well, you know a little something about that now, don't you?
Yeah, now you're bonded. They're
Hopefully when all this
connected.
is over, he won't be anybody's boss anymore.
I do not like magic or clowns.
I'm with you on that one. Clowns can fuck off. Yeah, just clowns can fuck off. They can fuck all the way off.
Yeah, well, all the same, Daisy, I'd like to look at the new car.
Elena! Sorry, I'm just gonna squeal every time I say her name. I'm just gonna squeal.
Tenth of what it was. Here comes Burning Man.
Yeah.
Any life on your side?
Burning Man. Yeah. They could be the new Secret Warriors. They could easily be the new Secret Warriors. Yeah. Yo-Yo, Ghost Rider, and Quake. Oh god, this is a trio. This is a trio. So you made it through the fire, no hassle, and the jacket again. Jackets in the jackets in the show are pristine and indestructible. Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Oh. Oh, head through a wall, damn. Oh, boy. Oh. Your own nephew? Really, Eli? Putting a stick of carbon through your own nephew? Oh, damn, he impaled him through the wall.
And if Matchstick messes with it?
Matchstick, oh boy, okay.
Time for plan B.
Yep, it blows the hell up. What's the blast radius? I mean, can't be anything good, but still, what's the
Anyone?
blast radius?
Feel free to chime in.
Like the whole of LA? All of America? I don't know. Maybe that whole coast that LA is on.
I never wanted to hurt you.
We trusted you, Theo. Gabe and me. He loves you like a father.
From high school to grad school, no one believed in me. They thought I was cheating. They thought I wasn't capable. Shut me out. Well, guess what? Guess what I'm capable of now? I am becoming a god.
Thor would like to have a word with you. Among other people.
Because the devil is coming for you.
Oh, that's an even better comeback. That is an even better comeback. Yeah, that's an even better comeback, yeah.
Ada thinks.
Maybe about electric sheep.
I take it that was a joke and does not require a response.
Nah. She's learning. I'd love to see a sarcastic Ada. I would love to see a sarcastic Ada. Yeah.
Here we go again.
There's an order to things in this seemingly chaotic universe. There are laws. Okay, and one of those laws says that every speck of matter that makes up every animal, vegetable, mineral, no matter how much it changes, it comes from somewhere, belongs somewhere. Its natural state, its home.
It's kind of a lovely sentiment.
It really
Even if it was
is.
completely unintentional.
It really is.
So what's the cause of the
No
quarrel?
matter where you go, you always end up somewhere where you truly belong.
Imagine the press? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. working with domestic terrorists and murderers.
Or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. best show on TV.
Protect Shield.
It's the job I was hired to do.
Mm.
In case you haven't noticed, Phil, we're not a team that trusts.
And you're not triumphing. As a result, you're not triumphing.
I can't believe she's a robot. She's so lifelike.
Thank you. I'm learning.
What Ada neglected to add.
Right now, Robbie's feeling the pull from that other place because he's trapped in a box with a bunch of quantum energy that doesn't belong here. And it sure as hell doesn't belong to you. Thus, thief, the more you take...
I can just imagine Coulson himself having to
Which causes a
memorize all
problem,
of this.
You know,
Yeah.
plutonium.
It's not the gauntlets I'm worried about.
It's Daisy. Can she really... How much Quake power can she hold?
I wake up.
Especially Quake power that's not even her own. Come on! There we go. Go hot. Oh, amazing! Amazing! Even Mace gets a suit! Okay, yeah, switching the guns. Switching the guns over here. There we go. And Eli. Oh, let him hold the magnet. Yeah, let him hold the magnet. There we go. There we go. Oh, Ada's a shield. Ada's a shield. No, Robbie? Robbie, what are you doing? No. Where'd Robbie go? God, but that scene, Fitz and Simmons jumping up and shooting? Oh god, that was so good. Oh boy. Oh, she took it all out. She let it all go. All that Quake energy. Still can't believe he has his own suit.
I lied to you. Agent Johnson.
Agent Daisy Johnson.
Saved us all.
That's my girl. That's my girl.
With it, frankly, later.
Yeah.
We need to get this to Gabe. Belongs to him now.
Robbie's not dead.
Count out the previous owner just yet.
Yeah, Robbie can't be
Think
dead.
Robbie will make it back?
Absolutely.
The
You
last
can't
Ghost
just...
Rider did.
Wait a minute, wait, what?
Long story, regardless. I don't think we've seen the last of Mr. Reyes.
The last Ghost Rider, does he? The last what? Like,
Everyone's in
Johnny
common.
Blaze?
I thought the new face of S.H.I.E.L.D. should be an Inhuman. Didn't mean him, though.
Oh god, directed Daisy Johnson. Oh, that makes my heart all warm and tingly. Yeah.
Maybe in the comic book version?
Oh my god. I'm sincerely hoping that's a comic book reference. I'm sincerely hoping that is an actual comic book reference. Yeah, directed Daisy Johnson. Oh, that would be so cool. That would be so cool.
And now you say you're worried about me, you want to protect me.
Don't call me Turtle Man.
No, you are her turtle man. You are her turtle man. Aww. God, all these kids getting together, getting all snoggy, and oh god, I love it. I love this damn show. I love it.
Your official lanyard.
Oh, she gets a lanyard again, a color-coded lanyard. Yeah.
Couldn't be here.
Oh, he would love to give out these lanyards.
What does
Yeah.
that mean?
We have no idea.
Yeah, just means it means you're a blue agent. You're very, very blue.
All of your work on the LMD program will take place here,
Huh.
under S.H.I.E.L.D. supervision.
Okay, that's only
That's
fair.
wonderful.
That is only fair. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Oh. Oh, this is horror movie type stuff. A random door opens and you just decide to open it up
Oh
yourself.
my god. What the?
Hello,
Whoa.
Agent Nathanson.
What?
I know how this feels.
What has she done? What did she? Ada? What the hell is she?
My apologies, Agent May.
May? No, she's with the team. May is with the team in S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'll have you cleaned up in no time.
Once we crack that bottle, it's open. No going back.
Fine by me. There's nothing I'd rather be doing.
I'm right where I belong.
Hey. Excusez-moi. S'il vous plaît. What? Anyone care to explain what that ending is? What that means? Anyone care to explain what that means? Because I sure as hell don't know right now. So, yeah, undeniably that episode, that ending, raises a whole crapload of questions. As with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes, like the endings especially, you definitely do often leave you with a lot more questions than answers, and that is the beauty of this show. Not to say that it's unique to this show, I know that's just how TV shows work, but again, with some TV shows it actually genuinely works better than others, because it by sheer raw force of instinct and quality, it leaves you literally wanting all the more, whether it be the characters and or the story. So yeah, with this one, yeah, so Ada, I don't know what kind of path Ada's going down. She's killing people now. She's, you know, she is going against like her direct programming, like from episode 1, like she reassured Fitz that Radcliffe made sure that her programming rendered her incapable of killing people, and now we've seen that that's a total fucking lie. So that was a fucking lie. But yeah, no. So she killed Nathanson, whatever. I think it's Nathanson. I think not Nathanson. That's not an actual last name. But I think Nathanson. Yeah, Nathanson. So she killed him. She just such as like a swift it wasn't even a proper brutal kind of neck snap that you usually see. It was just like. It's like such a gentle kind of click of the neck, and then he just drops dead. So, so yeah. So she's like again, again for her. I think for her, it wasn't even like a brutal kill. It was just literally just just her doing her own, just her doing it as swiftly and as cleanly as possible. But again, despite all of that, it's still killing. So she's gone so far against her actual programming, so far against her actual kind of her original directive. So she did I think she did both. She did what she was meant to do in this episode, which was being a shield, putting herself in the line of fire, which she did, and that was beautifully done. But then she also did this, which kind of just takes it's like one step forward and then maybe one step or two steps back. So, or maybe one step. I think 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Well, I think in this case, I think it would probably be more like 1 step forward. She actively, physically does take 1 step forward to put herself in the line of fire, and then I think again, it's like for me personally, I think the beauty of that is I never actually envisioned that would happen. Like, personally, I never envisioned that she would actually be able to, or be allowed to, or be authorized to go into the field of battle. And I never figured that Mace or anyone else would ever actually give her direct authority to go into the heat, or go into some kind of battle. And I figured, given her intellect and everything, she might stay behind on the Zephyr or something, or like connect to the computer. Like she might be like Cyborg, just be on the Zephyr, like wiring herself into all the computers and controlling stuff from there. I never would have envisioned her being in that place of fire, and especially because her directive was to actually help protect other agents and to actually be a shield. And I don't know why it was just tough for me to actually try and imagine her being like an actual human shield, but then she did it. She literally saved Fitzsimmons and A's life, and Fitzsimmons, especially after she dropped down, I was so shocked. But then Fitzsimmons jumping up with the guns, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith style, and just be like boom, pow, boom, pow, yeah, just firing off individuals. Like that particular shot, that framing, that shot of them being side by side, jumping with their arms side by side with the guns, and just firing. I was like, oh God, that makes me feel things. That makes me feel things. But yeah, no, oh God, Fitzsimmons, God, how far they've come. How far they've come from the small, inexperienced, or at least field inexperienced kind of beings they were from season 1 to now. They've come so far. They have come. The Bus Kids have come so far. The Bus Kids have come so damn far. Daisy was a kind of political, kind of social activist turned inhuman hero and an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and now Fitzsimmons have been through hell trying to be with each other, and even now they're fighting to remain together. So, God, that one shot, just, oh gosh, again, it just made me feel things, but yeah, it was so good. But yeah, anyway, Ada, back to Ada. So yeah, So yes, I think I don't know what that and she has May locked up. She has a naked May with blood coming down her face. Like I think I don't know which one's. I think that has to be the real May, right? Because I think that has to be. Because yeah, but then where would that May have come from? But then where did the one inside Shield come from? Like what had like where did what? Because we had what, like I didn't even know what that one could be. I mean, could it be like another LMD? But then the only LMD we have is Ada, and I don't know if she could. I mean, I don't know if she actually would have had the opportunity all the time to actually build an LMD of her own. But then why would she as well? That's another question. Like what is her what is her end game here? Like I think. The only time I personally feel like we've seen her intellect being increased, or her doing any proper like shieldy superhero-y stuff, is literally her reading the Darkhold and then all of a sudden having the knowledge to do this stuff. And I think actually that brings me back to something I forgot to mention in the last reaction and review, which is the fact that it's actually interesting to me. The more I think about it, it's actually interesting to me that Ada can even read the book. So like the limitations of the book, as well, almost like the book sets its own rules. So if you're alive, you can read it, but if you're dead, then you can't read it. So but then if you're not even human, then you can still read it too. That interests me. So like if you're a human, like if you're like no longer a living human, then you can still then you can't read it. If you're a human who was killed by technology if you're a human who was killed using technology created by the book, I wonder if that's the limit too. Like maybe if you're a human who was killed using technology created by the book too, because then like the like you know like Eli activated the machine and killed Lucy and the team, and that machine was created using the books. But then maybe say like had Lucy and her team just been like beaten to death or stabbed or shot by Eli too, then would that yield it? Because then I mean then they wouldn't have come back as ghosts. Like then they would just stay dead. But then the machine made it so that they were actually trapped between dimensions. So then yeah. So then if you're like if you're flooded with like dimensional energy, or if you're like trapped between dimensions, then maybe that's the key. Maybe you have to be within the right dimension. You have to be within the right dimension to actually read it. So then with Lucy, it wasn't so much her being dead, but just her being from another dimension, like that dimension. Like the book sense that she was actually between dimensions. They couldn't really get like an accurate read on her because of that. But then Eli being on Earth and being within the same dimensional plane as the book, that made that allowed him to read it, and then Ada. So yeah, okay, so then that must be the key. If you're in the same dimension, like maybe it doesn't even have to be Earth. Like if you're sent to another dimension and you can take the book with you, then yeah, then you can still read it. So like as long as you're in the same dimension as the book, then you can read it. But then if you're not, then that's the issue. So then you don't even have to be human. Even like an android could read it, an alien could read it, anyone could read it, like an inhuman could read it. Like as long as you're within the same dimension, as long as you're giving off the same kind of dimensional energy as the book itself. Maybe I mean the book itself comes from another dimension, but still, as long as it can lock onto you accurately within interdimensional kind of geography, if that's a thing, that's a thing that exists, then then it can actually read. Okay, that makes more sense then. Yeah, because I was thinking even after recording that video, I was thinking, wait, but Ada's not even human, so like. Does life and death really matter, or is it because with them, like with Lucy and her team, like they were not killed using conventional human methods, like they were killed using super advanced technology. So maybe that's actually what messed up her actual kind of accessibility to the book. So then she needed Eli, like a human who was still tethered to Earth and still kind of trackable accurately by the book, and then that's what she needed. So yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, so Ada yeah, so then, yeah, I mean, again, like since her reading the book, I've always been I've been irresistibly curious as to just how much knowledge she's actually unlocked. But then she's got somehow she's found her hands on May. I think the most logical thing is okay, like the real May has to be the one that she's got locked up. But there's no reason for her to create like a fake May and then to keep that one locked up. The real May has to be the one that she's got locked up, and then the fake May. So then that must be like it must be something like her. It must be an LMD. It must be an LMD. So then that then raises the question: how fucking long have we got? Have we had an LMD in our midst? Like an LMD May in our midst? Like how fucking long have we had a fake May? Like how long has Ada been keeping the real May locked up in a mini bathroom with blood down the side of her face? I mean, because that then shows signs of actually being knocked out by Ada. Maybe I thought that's what. I literally thought. I mean, from that final scene had like horror movie stuff written all over, like Nathanson being the only one in the lab and him packing stuff away, and then there's suddenly a noise, and then a door in the corner opens up, and him being the typical dude in horror movie stuff. Then he's like, oh, a strange noise and a strange door just opened. Let me go investigate it. And then Ada suddenly pops up behind him, and then she kills him and stuff. So I mean, I thought she was just gonna knock him out. I thought she was gonna knock him out and then keep him locked up too. But no, she just goes full on for the more permanent option. Just goes click, and then he drops dead. So yeah, damn, that really took me by surprise. So yeah, like I think the last time we saw May in Ada's kind of custody had to be in that episode back when she actually was being cured. When she was being cured by Fit. I mean, no, she only met Ada when she was recovering. Like by thingy Radcliffe, even not Fitz, Radcliffe. She only met Ada when she was recovering. Like before, like Radcliffe bought the power source out of her and used that to actually power the machine to defibrillate May. But then she only actually officially met Ada when she was in recovery. So then from that time onwards, at some point, she managed to kidnap the real May. However, because I think you would think that, oh, maybe under that, like she'd be under, like I think, Ada would have to be under Radcliffe's supervision, or him already knowing that he's actually created an android outside of Sokovia Accords and Shield parameters, and he's already illegally created create something scientific, like him knowing that, he would actually swear to keep himself on top of supervision 24/7 too. So like, you know, like it would have to be like, I don't know how she would have, I don't know how she would have even managed it, but somehow she did, and so she was able to kidnap May, and then yeah, I think I don't even know how the timing of that. I mean, I don't even know if this theory is gonna pan out. But again, I don't know how the timing of that would work. Like, if she actually did kidnap May, then yeah, then she did that, and then she would have to actually create like an accurate looking LMD, and then because that May has to be an LMD. If the real May is locked up in a room, because that's the vibe I get too. Like, oh, like I mean, the most simplistic vibe I get is, oh, which one is the real May? Like, you at least have to try and guess which one is the real May. But then there's also the case of, you know, okay, but then why would they bother showing us this if the real May wasn't gonna be the one in the bathroom? Because then they want to make you think, oh, the fake May is the one with Coulson pretending to have like happy times and making memories and having like a happy reunion and everything. So, you know, like that has to be the one there. So I don't know. I do not know, but yeah. So then, again, the timeline. I mean, timing stuff. I'm assuming again, like assuming this theory does pan out, I'm guessing that stuff will be answered later down the line. But then, yeah. So then Ada knocked out, like Ada intentionally harmed and kidnapped a SHIELD agent, and then she killed another one. She's going against so many directives here, so many original programming directives that Radcliffe has filled her with. So she's going against so much stuff, and then she's been keeping May locked up and captive in the bathroom, which I'm surprised Radcliffe hasn't actually discovered yet, because it is his house. You would think he would check almost every room on like a near daily basis to make sure that nothing is where it shouldn't be, or that everything is in working order, so then he wouldn't like suddenly like stumble upon like a naked and bleeding Melinda May in like a small bathroom in the corner of his office. But I don't know, maybe he hasn't. I mean, he hasn't been back in a while, but I think even still, like, again, it's his damn house. He should keep maintenance and security and shit. But either way, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what her plans for May are. Like, I mean, she seems to have been keeping her alive, but then what for? I'm not entirely sure. I think, you see, now, I think the scariest theory I can come up with is the fact that she used that same line drawing technology to actually try and create organs of her own, but then maybe she realized that wouldn't pan out. She needed something more material and more physical and more literal. So then she decided to kidnap a human and harvest their body for organs. That is literally the scariest theory my mind can come up with right now. I don't know why my mind is trying to come up with scary theories, but still, it's like, you know, I think it's like a very, it's a very scary and very, very horror style take on a robot wanting to become a human. A robot wants to become a human, so it works to actually kidnap a human, harvest their organs, and replace their own body parts with its own. So whether or not she actually goes forward with being able to actually harvest May's brain and her lungs and her heart and everything, I don't want to even think about that. But still, again, I don't know. That's just, my mind is firing off neurons and thoughts at alarming rates right now, just trying to come up with a theory that makes sense. But damn, it's just such a it's an ending I literally never would have seen coming. It's an ending as per usual. With the twists and turns in this damn show, it's an ending I never would have seen coming. But damn, jeez, oh boy, okay, yeah, I need a breather. And I think I definitely do love that Ada actually had some prior involvement throughout the rest of the episode too. Like this episode, I think you know, I think it's. I think, you know, I'm almost surprised at how well they did it. I'm almost surprised at how how well, not because they're not known for doing well in episodes, but still, like I think for I think for me at least, like a concept of like, oh, Shield and the LAPD actually hunting down Eli, it feels like it could have been like in any other hands, it could have easily been like a one and done kind of episodes, but in this one they actually managed to make it fleshed out, and actually give each character the chance to shine and to give the story some chance to breathe and distribute itself evenly in terms of pacing and character, and it was really, really well done. But I think I love that they brought in Ada for other purposes. And I think as well as that, I love that everyone finally finds out, or like pretty much everyone else finds out in their own time, in their own way, that Ada is actually not so much as a human as she is an android, and also like an actual like experiment conducted by Radcliffe outside of SHIELD supervision and outside of the Sokovia Accords parameters. So So yeah, and I think as well as that, I love how like all like the most common argument seems to be like, wow, Ada's like Ada's an android, wow, but she's so lifelike, like oh she like I never would have known she's an android, she passes so well for a human, like you know like that kind of argument. Even in real life even in real life you hear it being like, you know, being like assigned to various different kinds of labels and identities, like oh I never would have known you were this, you pass so well for this, or you're like you're so like you don't look like this kind of person at all, or anything like that. But yeah, and I think what got me as well was was Mace. And Mace is one to be like, okay, let's just forget I was mildly attracted to her for even a second. Like, you know, like you can. I think, you know, it's not exactly. I mean, look, right, listen, right. The amount of posts I've seen on Twitter and Tumblr of people being horny as rabbits for Vision in WandaVision. Okay, I think people are at least a little bit entitled to be horny for, or at least, you know, attracted to Ada as well. Like, you know, I think you know, like like personally, I don't see anything wrong with that, so long as you're still keeping it, you know, moderately kind of SFW. Like, I mean, if you do have any SFW, like any NSFW thoughts, just, you know, keep it to yourself, or you know, just NFS, no, NF and NFSW, no, not for no, N, not safe for what, NSFW. Okay, I got my letters mixed up around. Sorry, I got my letters mixed around. Like NSFW, yeah, not NFSW, NSFW. Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, again, even if you do have any NSFW thoughts, which, I mean, you're only human, you're not inhuman, you're only human. I don't know what point I was going for there, but again, even if you do have any NSFW thoughts about her, then I'd say that's probably perfectly natural too. You know, again, you're only human, it's perfectly natural to be attracted to something, and again, Ada is literally built to look and pass for an actual normal human being, and part of the reason is so that she can actually fit in well with other agents and actually operate as someone that they can trust and someone they can believe in, but also because again because Ada was actually originally originally a robot created outside of SHIELD supervision. Like Radcliffe had to like created her with the intent of like not immediately making her noticeable as an android to actual passersby. So she had to look and act like an actual human. And again, yeah, Mallory Jansen is fucking beautiful. She is a gorgeous woman. She's a gorgeous woman in real life and in the show. So again, you can definitely. I feel like you can and likely should be able to actually be attracted to Ada without feeling ashamed by it once you find out she's an android. Like again, she's an android, not a fucking sex doll. Okay, like she is, you know, an embodiment of technology, and she is designed to actually help people, not just to. You know, yeah, it's just again, like I don't know why that comment from Mace got to me, or like, why it sounded so defensive coming from him too. Like, oh, let's just forget I was so like mildly attracted to her for even. I'm sure you're not the only one. Like, even I mean. Arguably, like, you know, Simmons never actually admitted that she was attracted to her, but even Simmons was not afraid to actually comment on how amazing she looked for what she was, and to actually compliment her actual physical beauty and her appearance and everything. So even she wasn't afraid to do that. So again, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, and I'm sure many in the fandom would agree that they were attracted to Ada too. And I don't know, maybe some people stopped after finding out what she did right at the very end of this episode. But hey, whatever floats your boat. So yeah, if LMDs are your thing, then I guess more power to you. Like literally, no judgment. This fandom is crazy. This fandom is crazy as all hell. So you know, like literally whatever floats your boat. I mean, I'm sure there's many other things. Again, in the Marvel universe, people are attracted to gods and non-humans and inhumans and all kinds of things. So again, like an LMD is the least of that, like, is like very, very low on the list of unethical things to be attracted to. So yeah, I think you should be safe. But yeah, but Ada, I think people's kind of constant disbelief in her being an android because she looked so human just kind of got to me again, like that kind of thing. Like, oh, she you know, oh, I never would have guessed she's this or that or the other because she looks so human, she looks so lifelike and everything. So there was that, and again, I think even in the midst of hearing that, even in the midst of hearing that in the episode, I couldn't help but think of all the times that kind of concept and that kind of response has been assigned in real world, like human conversations and everything. So there was that. But yeah, I think one thing that also got to me was that she's actually programmed to feel pain. Like I didn't know why she. I don't know why she wouldn't program to do that, because then if she's meant to be a shield as well, then surely you'd want her to be more like Luke Cage or something. Maybe actually just be able to deflect, because like I was fully expecting for her to be able to just like the bullets just deflect off. I mean, I don't know, I don't know what kind of metal she was was under her skin, because again, like she's like very very like human looking skin over wiring and plating and technology and all that kind of stuff. So I was like half expecting it to be some other kind of like metal plating under the skin that would actually deflect bullets and stuff like that. But no, the bullets actually went through and she actually collapsed. And I was like, okay, maybe she's not standing there like an actual human shield. She's just collapsing after taking a few bullets, and then Fitzsimmons come out with the guns and everything and start firing off, and that was cool. I'm never gonna shut up, by the way. I'm never gonna shut up about that one shot. It wasn't even a scene, just one shot with them pulling out guns and starting to fire one shot to fire off one round each. I'm never gonna shut up about that. So just be warned, But yeah, but then even then, like she bleeds synthetic blood, and then also to make matters worse, she is literally programmed to feel pain too. So I mean, I wonder if I wonder partially if that's maybe like if that's maybe overdoing it on the whole making her pass for human thing, because again, like he did make her wanting to allow her to pass for human so that she would never have to be found out as an android, because I think his main worry his main worry was that he probably wouldn't get far enough with her as an android without eventually having Shield find out that she is an android. So then he actually made her pass, he put in as many settings and features and functions that would allow her to pass for human as much as possible. But then it's like, how far does that even go? Like, is it just a pain, or like is like an agent gonna assume that she's thirsty in the middle of battle and then offer her like a bottle of water, and then that's gonna short circuit her systems or something? Like, is that gonna be a thing that happens, or like can she take? I don't know. Can she do any normal human stuff? Like if someone invites her out to lunch, is she gonna kindly decline, or is she gonna actually follow them to Subway and do something? I don't know. These are the questions. These are the kind of questions I have. Can she drink? Can you take her to dinner? Can you do other things with her? Can you can she go swimming or something? I don't know. But either way, she's Ada. She's Ada, and she can take bullets. And I think it's also like that kind of like very very emotionally twisting kind of paradox too. Like she's programmed to feel the pain, I think, but then I don't know how that would work either. Does she have those kinds of nerve endings? Like, can she actually feel active pain that's actually like nerve endings sending damage signals to the brain, and the brain sending activating some kind of signal that shows like a certain part of your body is damaged and needs repairing, or how far does that go too? Like, is it like, because then she can't die either. She reassured Simmons she couldn't die, and then it's all synthetic blood too, so she can't die. But then she's still programmed to experience pain, or maybe she's programmed to actually mimic the experience of pain. Maybe she's actually programmed to make all these contorted faces and to groan and moan and yell and pretend like she's dying. But then deep down, it's like it's literally nothing. It's maybe like a few wires loose, maybe some damaged kind of plating and stuff here and there. But overall, just nothing. A little bit of super glue and some electrical tape can't fix. I don't know what he would use to fix it. But either way, I think that is more of the question I have. Like, can she actually experience pain, or is it just like does she mimic the experience of pain itself? So because then mimicking it would just be like a contorted face and rolling around on the floor and making kind of groaning, moaning sounds and stuff like that. So then that kind of feels more accurate compared to like an actual android having to feel some kind of pain signals in their nerve endings or something like that. So I don't know, but either way, it's cool that we actually had that kind of further exploration of her and like further presence of her character in the show too. So that was cool, and I think it was actually good to see that kind of directive in action, like her actively putting herself in harm's way, which was exactly what she was programmed to do. It's good to see that kind of function of her actual prime identity and her prime purpose and creation actually being put into visual action. So props to the writers and the director and the actress herself for actually going that far to kind of solidify her true origins in the show. And we got one of my other favorite characters back. We had Elena Yo-Yo Rodriguez back in action with this one, so that was fun. That was very fun. I can't tell if it's just my kind of memory of the initial viewing being kind of hazy, or if it's actually because like I think she didn't really, I think she did do a lot, but I just can't remember it because again I've only seen it once, and now I'm jumping straight into the review of the episode. So I feel like I'm actually, there's a lot more that happened with her in it compared to actually what I'm remembering, especially her action wise, her using her powers, like that shot of her running through the hallway and then the water splashing onto the wall and then the entire thing being set on fire and then her being blasted through the hallway like that. That was a pretty cool demonstration. And like her and May and Mace and Mac is all like jumping in to help save Coulson and everything, and then her running through, her swapping weapons out, turning weapons around and aiming the shotgun and everything. It was her, like it was basically Quicksilver. It was basically the Quicksilver scene from Days of Future Past where he's in the kitchen, he's running on the walls and he's throwing plates and twisting fists into faces and you're turning guns and moving bullets and everything. Like it reminded me of that. But she was back in this, and I think seeing that new trio as well, like her, Quake, and Ghost Rider too. Like Yo-Yo, Quake, and Ghost Rider is a trio for the ages. That is a trio I never would have thought I needed from this show. And it's a trio to behold. I think it's a trio that really didn't last long enough because again, Yo-Yo was actually blasted back out of the building by the fireball trap that Eli set up. So it was a trio that ended up not really lasting too long. But then Robbie, being the man of fire in this show, he walked through it without sweat. He walked through it without so much as a sweat. And then the camera somehow still made it through too. So the camera I think the camera must have been fire retardant too, in some sense of the word. So that was cool. But yeah, Elena and Mac as well. Like they kind of progressed in their own relationship a little bit in more ways than one. They definitely progressed. And I think Elena did. I think Elena made a good point because then as soon as she kind of reestablished that she it's taking her to dinner and asking her how she is and calling her like Yo-Yo and everything, and then nothing for weeks. I was I genuinely forgot we haven't actually seen her for a few episodes. Like it's been like 2, 3, maybe even 4 episodes. It was 4 episodes since we've actually seen her in the show too. And I remember reading on one of my last reactions with her in it that she actually has her own spin-off called Slingshot, I believe it is, and it's actually focused on her. Like it's like a mini web series, but I can't remember where. I think it takes place during this season, but I can't remember when. So I don't know when I actually because I was thinking okay, I'll definitely react to that. Then if it's like if it's like an actual mini-series focused on Elena during the season, then I'll definitely have to check it out and, even react to it. So I was like, yeah, but I was like, I actually just can't even remember when, I think someone might have mentioned it, but I actually just kind of genuinely forgot, so I can't remember, when in this season it actually takes place or anything like that. So if you guys do know, then feel free to comment it down below, and then when the time comes, I will happily react to it and put those up too, along with the as I continue through with the rest of the show too. So I don't know if I should actually finish it by a certain point too. I don't know if I need to finish that series before I progress past another episode in the actual main show, or if it's completely fine or whatever. But either way, I'll try and keep it going as quickly as the Shield reactions themselves, but that should be a fun watch. So let me know when and how that works chronologically and timeline wise and all that kind of stuff. So I think given that they bring her back in now after not having her in for the past few episodes, I feel like it could be taking place soon, because then maybe they actually bring her back in this, and then they kind of weave the Slingshot stuff in through the kind of coming episodes. So maybe that's how it goes, maybe not. Either way, if you know, then leave it down in the comments below and I will react accordingly. But seeing Elena in this was really, really cool. And again, her and Mac progressed past this, and he grabbed the girl and he kissed her. That was super romantic and super sweet to see. And even Daisy and Coulson coming down the corridor being like, oh yeah, you guys are getting up to a little bit of but that's cool. Again, the romances in this show are so well done. The relationships in this show are so well crafted and just super well done. I think Fitzsimmons is going to have a permanently engraved spot in my heart for like all the live long day. But again, Daisy and Lincoln was sweet while it lasted. It was really sweet while it lasted. Felinda, I think, that's like, it's like a thing that we already feel like is a thing, but it's just like, like they're like that kind of old, like they're basically like an old married couple already. They are basically an old married couple already. So it's like they've already got it going for them. I think whether or not they actually come out with it to the team is up to them. But we as fans, we as viewers already know Felinda. It's already a thing. It's basically already a thing. But Fitzsimmons had that kind of slow burn to it that finally made you punch the air and yelp and squeal when it was finally confirmed and everything. So it's like now, like at least me personally watching all this for the first time and actually going through this series for the first time, is I personally can't wait to see how far it progresses, how far we get with the story of Fitzsimmons, and how like how much Fitzsimmons stuff we get, like how much of their relationship we get as part of the story before they decide to go off on their own adventures and everything. So Fitzsimmons has been, oh my god, I can't. I think in all my years of watching television and consuming stories and consuming all these kind of scripted relationships, I think Fitzsimmons has easily been like not even an exaggeration, like it's easily been one of the best kind of like one of the best written and one of the best performed and developed kind of stories and relationships I've seen in the media, and it just seems like so human against like a wall and like a barrage of stuff that's just like again like him, like Fitz's kind of iconic line dating back to season 2, like being like like they're like season 3 even like that they're cursed and the cosmos is set on keeping them apart. But you can't keep a couple like this apart when one of them is literally willing to dive through a hole in space to get to the other. Like that is like the cosmos says I want you apart. They both just hold up a great big middle finger to the cosmos. That is how Fitzsimmons is. That is Fitzsimmons in a nutshell. The cosmos is like, you know what, I'm gonna keep you two apart, Romeo and Juliet style, and instead of a ritual suicide, they just throw up a middle finger and then kiss. Like they're kissing in the black background, but then the clearest view you get is the middle finger that they actually put up to the cosmos, being like, screw you, we're in love, and we're gonna solidify that love here and now, and everything. So yeah, like Fitzsimmons again, just my babies, my babies from season 1 turned lovers now, and they're just they're just I'm here for literally any and all Fitzsimmons content this show can muster up for me, and then some. So it's going to be a wild ride. But yeah, Mac and Elena, they are also headed in pretty much the right direction. From day one, it's been kind of pretty. I felt like from day one, it's been pretty easy to ship them. But again, like the writers don't really feel the need to, especially with those relationships, like Daisy and Lincoln, and now Mac and Elena, like they have like their own kind of development with them. That kind of goes from, like with Mac and Elena, it's like somewhat kind of opposite ends, like not necessarily enemies, but still somewhat opposite ends to kind of friends to lovers, and then Daisy and Lincoln being like strangers who meet in very very peculiar circumstances to friends to kind of opposite ends to lovers, like they've had just as much of a rocky journey with the whole Inhuman stuff going on, and Mac and Lena have had their own thing with kind of lack of communication and sometimes miscommunication. So there's been that, and then who can forget the kind of age-old Mr. and Mrs. Smiths of the series? Our treasured, our prized Hunter, Lance Hunter, and Bobby Morse, like the actual, age-old kind of Mr. and Mrs. Smith of the series. Like they've been incredible too. Like to this day, I miss them. I can't get over them. I will never get over them. But I do hope the actors actually went on to better things and to better places, and I'm hoping. I mean, hopefully even in the background of the show, the characters themselves actually still managed to stay alive and stay together and everything. So hopefully that worked out for them. But yeah, I mean, times like these, I wish we could have gotten Marvel's Most Wanted, the actual TV show, the TV show they had planned to continue Bobby and Hunter's story. Like times like these, it's like like you want to see what happened to these characters afterwards, so then give it to us. But no, just come up with plans and then throw away the plans. Come up with plans and then just throw them away completely and just never let them see the light of day again. So yeah, But you know what? If anything, I'm glad that Agents of Shield never went down that route. Like Agents of Shield, like went through its own stage of constant fruition and development and constant progression, and it just kind of, it got better. I mean, even like 4 seasons in, it just got better and better and better, and it ultimately reached. I'm hoping a satisfying end. I'm hoping like them actually deciding to actually come to its own end. I'm hoping all these relationships actually lasted and actually met their own kinds of, at least story-wise conclusions, but still they're like able to continue on into the aftermath, and you can just imagine, and maybe you can even go read fanfic and read more content that, like the dedicated and creative and hugely intelligent and resourceful fandom members actually come up with and stuff. So yeah, Mac and Elena, I can't wait to see where they go from here. Now they've officially had their first kiss too. They've had their first kiss, so that is a very, very exciting time for them. And now the team, I mean, at least Daisy and Coulson know. So it's a very exciting time for them. But Mac and Elena, again, I've had very little trouble actually shipping them somewhat from the first few episodes we saw them together in. And even seeing who Elena was, she was not a bad person, just like a freedom fighter looking to actually save herself and her family and everything. So, and Mac kind of understood her, and he kind of sympathized with her, and he actually managed to get to know her a little bit. So she, she like they fit well together. Like they genuinely care about each other, and they actually, actively want to be and like to fight together and to actually be together. So now it seems like season 4 might give us that story. It might give us that story of Mac and Elena having the time to be together and stuff. So yeah, it should be a fun watch. It should be a very, very fun watch. But then Mace, I think, Mace came through. I was so surprised when he actually said that he was going to go into the field himself. So I was like, sure, he's wearing a suit, but it's like an actual, it's a suit for just for namesake. It's a suit just for presentation. It's not like a, probably not like a bulletproof suit or anything. But he has a suit. Mace actually does have a suit, and it's a super suit. It very much looks like a super suit. It very much looks like, like an actual, it has like the shield logo in the middle, and it has straps, and it has like a leather in it, and it's actual physical kind of combat suit. So I think there was a name someone mentioned in the comment of a previous reaction. I can't remember what it was. It's like a superhero name that goes with like him being Jeffrey Mace from the comics. So I think I can't remember exactly what it was. Oh god, I don't even know if I can look back. But there was a name someone mentioned, like an actual superhero-y sounding kind of alter ego that he had. So I assume that character again is from the comics. I suppose I could look it up. I suppose there wouldn't be too many spoilers. I guess I'm making a big risk here, so I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen here. Jeffrey Mace, actor. That's Jason O'Mara. He does play Jeffrey Mace. Who does he play though? Where he portrayed Jeffrey Mace / Patriot. That was the one. Patriot. Yeah, Patriot. I knew it was something with a P. It was something with a P. So he plays Patriot. So yeah, I think that must be his actual Patriot suit then. That must be his actual suit as the Patriot with like the shield logo on the side. It's like an all black / navy blue kind of thing, and he even actually shows up in public wearing that suit too. So I think the people already know he's Inhuman. The people of the world already know he's an Inhuman. So him going out there wearing a suit, it allows him to be that. I don't think that makes that much of a difference. I wonder if the suit itself is bulletproof, or if it's actually holds any kind of structural integrity of its own, or if it's just like, with him, we've seen he doesn't really take a lot of damage. Like May hit him in, I think it was the second episode, with the weightlifting kind of pole that you put weights on, and she whacked him across the arm, and that was just like a straight third, and whacked him across the face and didn't even leave a mark and everything. So I'm assuming with this suit there might be some other kind of natural protective capabilities to it, like fireproof or bulletproof or something else proof. But either way, it looks cool. That's one of the. When you have a super suit, it has to kind of has to look cool. So I think this one so far, it nails that kind of essence too. So he is the Patriot. And so the Patriot again. I feel. I don't know why, but especially with the shield logo in the middle. I think like in some shots, and even actually looking like, and like if I like focus too much on the suit, I did kind of start to visualize more Cap's suit from the movies too, like him having the star in the middle, and sometimes he'd have like a design going over his shoulder, like the stripes, like his Winter Soldier suit, which is honestly one of the sexiest fucking suits in the movies. But I mean, seeing that shield logo in the middle, and then the straps going over his shoulder, and then the designs going off to his chest and his arms and everything too, like it reminds me of the Cap suit. So I do want to, as well, with a name like the Patriot, or at least Patriot. I don't know if there's a "the" in it, but with a name like Patriot, you know, like that is essentially what Steve Rogers and Cap are meant to be. So him being Patriot, I mean, I do wonder in that sense if he is maybe even on some level comparable to Captain America. Maybe if he has similar powers to. Maybe, I mean, he did punch a guy across the room too. So I mean, I would argue that he may well have super strength in his actual list of abilities and stuff. So in enhanced strength, maybe bulletproof, or maybe some sense of immunity and stuff. So that would be cool. I mean, again, it's the bare minimum we've seen. We've literally seen, like, you know, I think it was pretty much in like the third act of the episode, like the half the second act and the remainder of the third act of the episode. We saw him coming in with the suit, him showing off some of his capabilities. So it's a very, very much a brief glance, of what he can do and what he's capable of. So that much was good to see. But he has his own suit, so that's cool. And the even better thing he did, was actually going up to Daisy and actually renouncing her as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and even going so far as to say that all the times that she was Quake and she was a terrorist to the public was her actually being undercover, like in like an actual special undercover mission to actually try and take down the anti-Inhuman group known as the Watchdogs. I mean, I don't know if they've actually done that before, but I do like them. I do like that they're at the very least I do like that at the very least they are actually they're actually kind of announcing them as like an anti-Inhuman. So even if they're not going so far as to label them a terrorist group, which they are, it's like, okay, so these guys aren't necessarily the good guys. They're still trying to target they're still trying to target Inhumans, which we know is a very, very, you know, like targeting anyone is a bad thing to do. But I mean, with these guys, they are explicitly discriminatory and hateful and very, very murderous with their kinds of campaigns and everything. So I like that much. But then him actually renouncing Agent Daisy as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. So now, I mean, I think it's going to take her a while to actually reintegrate with the actual team and actually get back in as an agent. But I think I hate to end the episode off. That is a great thing to end off on. So her being officially renounced back into the team, being Agent Daisy Johnson, and then I think in the coming episodes we'll probably see her actually maybe apologizing to each member, being like, you know, I'm sorry I was so distant, I'm sorry things, you know, went the way they did, I was just trying to atone for my sins and all that jibber jabber and stuff. But that'll be cool to see. It'll be cool to see eventually. So that should be fun. It should be very fun. I think it was also cool to see her actually being able to actually absorb each quake that came from the machine, and then in the very end she was actually just blasting herself into the sky. Like that shot, my god, was so cool. That shot was just beyond amazing. Like her actually going out into the street with the quake powers being like just being struggling to be contained in her gauntlets and in her arms, and then ultimately just like launching herself into the sky and then crashing back down again. Like that shot, that whole scene was just so cool. So Daisy freaking Johnson. And then we had Robbie and Eli. Eli trapping his own nephew inside the box with shards of carbon just coming out the wall. I mean, literally, I thought what he had done was literally doing what he did to the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in the last one, which is materializing it in the body. And then with him, I thought, oh, maybe he can just pull it out. But then the camera actually pans around to the side and shows, nope, there's literally a giant, like, stick of carbon that literally came out of the wall and then actually impaled Robbie on it to begin with. So yeah, and then even that's when Eli starts to discover the truth about his own nephew, being like, oh, all this quantum energy, this other energy, and this one and then two shards of carbon sticking through him, like all of that would have killed a normal person 10 times over. But then he discovers, Robbie isn't so much a normal person anymore, so then that kind of gives them the chance to talk while Robbie slowly bleeds to death and then fights to summon the Ghost Rider to help heal him and save him and everything. So we had that, and then we had a bit of actual interesting Eli backstory too. We had a bit of interesting Eli backstory with him kind of showing off his own struggles too. So him, how he was kind of mistreated by people all throughout his career. He was actually mistreated, and like even once he got to even once he got to Joseph and Lucy's team in Momentum Labs, he still wasn't really close to them. He still wasn't really treated like he still didn't really feel like he was actually treated by them with respect. Like even in that flashback 2 episodes back, we see that, you know, Joseph was like not only very possessive of the box, but then even the way he responds to Eli too, like him saying like, oh, just do what I say and everything will be fine. Like, so almost treating him like another kind of lab scientist, like almost treating him like another not really. I feel like even in that scene alone, it doesn't really feel like he treats him like another scientist, but more like an actual almost like a slave, just telling him what to do and when to do it, and then being like, oh, and then everything will be fine. I mean, granted, we don't see the other scientists themselves asking what's happened or asking to see the book themselves. It's just Eli who grows more curious, because again, that technology kind of, you know, definitely kind of invalidates and fights to kind of nullify the I don't know which law it is. I think it's one of the laws of thermodynamics. I believe it's the law of thermodynamics. So like the energy can't be created, can't be destroyed. It just kind of you can discover it. You can discover energy in one of its many forms. Energy changes all throughout its kind of stages of life. It goes from one form to another, to another, to another. Until I think even the way Fitzsimmons described it was, again, Simmons actually pointing out that Fitz describing it in a really, really sentimental and poetic way. Even if it was unintentional, like it keeps changing and changing and changing until it reaches its final destination, until it reaches its home, and then even then it just stays. I think maybe it just stays dormant, or maybe it just kind of stays in that way until something else happens. So energy can never really be created or destroyed. Just, you know, sometimes it can be visible to the naked eye, sometimes it can't be visible, and it just works in all these mysterious ways. So it's a really cool thing. Science can be, you know, super freaky and mysterious, and I mean, even Fitz fighting. I think what I love so far about this season is Fitz fighting to maintain some kind of scientific sensibility in amidst the chaos, and it's like he refuses to believe the Ghost Rider even exists, and then he not only meets the Ghost Rider and sees the Ghost Rider in action, but then the Ghost Rider actually breaks out the containment module that he personally assured Coulson and Mace that would contain him. So, you know, Fitz, I think now in this season, Fitz is literally just fighting to maintain his the sensibility of the science that he loves, and he's fighting to maintain the, you know, no matter how chaotic the universe we live in now is, science still exists, and science still has its own laws that can't be broken, no matter how maniacal or how crazy with power you want to get. Science still exists. With Eli, he definitely was not just taking energy from another dimension. He was stealing it into energy. He was stealing energy and from another dimension, and then bringing it into a dimension it didn't belong in, and he was also hoarding it for himself. So he was using that energy to power himself and to give him the powers he wanted to spontaneously create. Like he even went far. Like he went to diamonds, like materializing diamonds inside the dude's lungs, and he was creating the manipulating the water too. So he just kind of crossed the entire periodic table of elements and all that kind of stuff. So see, I mean, diamonds are still carbon, right? I think diamonds, to my knowledge, diamonds are still carbon. It's like when you compress carbon and then you actually get that kind of diamond shape, and then you actually cut it down into. I mean, even what he materialized inside the dude's lungs were uncut diamonds, so like diamonds in their kind of raw form before they're actually cut into something that you see in a ring or a necklace or whatever. So he had actually managed to actually crawl his way across the table and actually learn to control the different kind of elements. So I think, yeah, so he had a very interesting set of powers. So yeah, but yeah, where was I? I think I was talking about Fitz and his love for science, and then the law of thermodynamics and stuff. So that was cool. But yeah, no. So I think Eli, years after feeling like condescension and mistreatment and a lack of respect from other scientists for the work he did. I think, you know, he definitely just wanted to kind of I think he definitely kind of felt like, on the one hand, joining a more private and again, because Lucy and Joseph's team was a privately funded think tank, so joining something as compact and specialized as that, I think he finally felt like he might actually be ready to be treated like an equal and be treated like someone who deserves equal knowledge and equal access to their resources. But then, even in the end, I think even the way he described it in prison was like a simplistic way of describing it too. Like they wanted someone who wouldn't ask too many questions. And then once he did start asking questions, Joseph really didn't like that, and he just went back to making him feel like a simple kind of lab rat that was used and then tossed away again when they no longer needed him. So then, working, I think, and especially with that too, like working with such esteemed and such skilled scientists up close to, like he kind of, I think again, like he went in expecting to be treated like an equal, at least by them, but then even then when Joseph shunned him and refused to give him, refused to share his resources with him too, like he felt like that was the last straw, and this power, like whatever it was, this power was definitely something who was definitely bigger than anything he'd seen before in any other lab. So then he felt like he was going to be damned if he would let this power slip out of his hands, and he would let it just kind of remain in Joseph's hands too. So he wanted that power if it was the last thing that he would ever try and fight for. So all that kind of trauma and pain was what led him down this path into becoming the Molecule Man and actually acquiring this power for himself. So that was Eli's story. Wherever the box took him, his uncle is with him. So I think that was I feel like that was definitely the kind of like the kind of mentality he was going for towards the end. Like he saw Eli getting up again and getting ready to fight, but then that is also his last deal. That is his last score. So like wherever he's going, it couldn't possibly be good. So like as long as he can settle that score, then he's good. And then the Ghost Rider's already kind of taken hold of the wheel, so then he can actually just carry on and go do the Ghost Rider's bidding. So yeah, I mean, it was a very quick exit. That was what surprised me. It was a very, very quick exit. It wasn't really something that seemed overly planned. But I think again, the mentality was there, the motivation was there. That was like it was clear that he was with them because hunting Eli was his last score. So I feel like he did it, like that much was clear too. His last goal, do whatever it takes to take down Eli, to take him down for good. So if it means burning him and going with him in the box, then so be it. So then he'll. Like the Ghost Rider being the Ghost Rider, he'll probably find a way out of there and into like another dimension at some point. But either way, Eli is with him, so he can take down Eli and do whatever needs to be done there. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping again. I mean, they even addressed it in the end. Like they literally even addressed it in the end. I'm hoping that's not the last we see of Robbie or Ghost Rider, because again, that's like he's too good of a character. He's too good of a character to let go of. He's far too good of a character to let go of. So I'm hoping that's not the last we actually have to see of Robbie or Ghost Rider. It's not the last we have to see of that kind of incarnation as well. So I'm hoping we can actually see Robbie soon enough at some point too. Maybe with better news of having dealt with his uncle, and maybe because I think after this, I think the Ghost Rider himself would I think after this, right? Because I think it's definitely easy to see this as being his settlement of the Eli score, of the last of Robbie's score. But then his deal with the Ghost Rider was, you help me settle my score, and then I'll help you settle all of yours. So then now I think we might not see him for a while because of the fact that the Ghost Rider himself, like the Ghost Rider itself, does not have any ties to S.H.I.E.L.D. It doesn't really feel the need to come back to S.H.I.E.L.D. and reassure them of its own existence. Like now, whatever the Ghost Rider wants, the Ghost Rider will do with Robbie's body. So now it will find its way out of its own dimension, and then maybe go into hell or go somewhere else, and then sort out its own deals and settle its own scores and stuff. So I feel like even if we do see him, it won't be for a while. So I feel like it's better to go. It's somewhat more reassuring to go forth with that knowledge. It's somewhat more reassuring to go forth with that knowledge instead of expecting him in the next episode. And the episode after that, and then just being dissatisfied with not seeing him. So we'll see how it goes. But a great ending. And yeah, the final kind of reference in the episode was actually, Coulson and Daisy actually reconciling and having a little talk after her kind of official public kind of reinitiation and reintegration back into the S.H.I.E.L.D. team, and even Daisy referencing the fact that Coulson actually wanted like an Inhuman on the team, or it was like an Inhuman in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then Coulson told her like, sure, I wanted an Inhuman in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it didn't have to mean Jeffrey, it didn't have to mean Mace, and then Daisy realizing that he meant her, and then her like that, the writers and Daisy's coy little reference to the comics, be like, oh, maybe in the comic book version. So I think for one thing, that means I think it actually is known that comic books exist in the MCU. I think it is. It is like an because I vaguely remember there being Captain America comics in the actual first Avenger movie. Like as soon as Cap became like a more notable figure, especially in the public eye, there were actual soldiers and kids in the public in the cities actually reading Captain America comics, even even stylized after the original Captain America comics that came out in the 40s themselves. So I think the MCU having comic books of its own isn't really too. I mean, they have action figures of the actual toys, so comic books. I mean, maybe not specifically Marvel comics, but still comic books of like detailing all these different adventures and stuff. I mean, that's still really kind of fourth wall breaking to think about. Like these superheroes in real life actually have comic books based after them, but still, I really appreciate that coy little reference. And even then, I think the even sneakier reference is, director Daisy Johnson of S.H.I.E.L.D. being like an actual S.H.I.E.L.D. director in the comic versions. I think needless to say, I have not gotten as far into the comics of Marvel history and Marvel lore as I would like to be, and definitely I'm nowhere near getting into the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comics. I've heard that there are actually S.H.I.E.L.D. comics. There are S.H.I.E.L.D. comics, and also I think after the Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale aired, I've actually seen people posting snippets of what they want to see in Captain America 4, because that movie is coming out with Bucky and Sam as Cap and Winter Soldier respectively. So I think I've seen little snippets of like actual comic book frames of Agent May working with Captain America, and even Daisy and even Quake working with Sam Wilson as Captain America. So I mean, that thing. I mean, hey, I will never, ever say no to seeing Chloe Bennett and Ming-Na Wen on the largest screen MCU. Okay, I mean, look, if they wanted to give it to us back then, they damn well could have, and we Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans would have eaten it up like Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner. So, I will never say no to seeing Daisy Johnson and Melinda May, and even the rest of the S.H.I.E.L.D. team, whoever decides to come back, in Captain America 4. But I think that little snide, that little coy kind of comic book reference, being like, oh, maybe director Daisy Johnson, maybe in the comic book version, So, I mean, I'm assuming that is an actual comic book reference to her being a director of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that would be cool to see. Like, again, director Daisy Johnson, again, that is also something else that brings a nice warm tingly feeling to my heart and soul and essence and everything. Like that just makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Director Daisy Johnson, that definitely rings a good bell. So I mean, I don't know, maybe one day. I mean, I wonder if that's how they actually conclude the show, with Daisy becoming the director. But I mean, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and start theorizing on that just yet. But either way, I mean, truth be told, I mean, knowing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you never know. But truth be told, knowing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you never truly know. But I think at the same time, truth be told, I don't think this is something to take too much from. It's more it's on the surface. It really is. On the surface, it really is just like a snide little reference that they've made to kind of make you think and make comic readers kind of happy too. But then I think if you do want to think about it in more terms, and if you do want to think about it in more ways than just one, then you're absolutely free to do so. But at the same time, don't hype yourself up for something that might not ever happen. So avoid disappointment that way. But either way, it was cool. Either way, it was a cool reference and a cool little kind of snide remark. So yeah, director Daisy Johnson, any day. I will happily accept that any day of the week. And there was another point where Coulson actually mentioned like there being like the last Ghost Rider, he mentioned like actually keeping the car around in case Robbie came back, and then Daisy kind of said, oh, you really think Robbie's coming back? And then he mentioned the last Ghost Rider did. So I don't know who he was actually referring to in that scene or in that point of dialogue, like if he was actually talking about like Johnny Blaze, or if he was talking about Mac. Like, I think I think not the new one, but I'd say the last different Ghost Rider we've gotten is Mac. Like, he's not the new one, because I think he was not officially passed on. Like, him being like the Ghost Rider being in like a different dimension, literally fought to escape Robbie's body, and then jumped into the nearest vessel, which was then Mac. But then Johnny Blaze intentionally and through an actual deal, he passed on the spirit of vengeance through to Robbie, and then made him the next Ghost Rider through that kind of a deal. So I think through that kind of logic, I think that he would have to be I think he would have to. I mean, maybe he doesn't know that. maybe he doesn't directly know that it was Johnny Blaze, but then like I think I'm honestly surprised. I mean, I would honestly be surprised if he would even know anything about Johnny Blaze, considering that Robbie is the first Ghost Rider he's met. But then I don't know if maybe off screen in his own time he's maybe done some research and found out more about the Ghost Rider if he can, or if he's actually found out that, you know, maybe there are like multiple generations and multiple incarnations of the Ghost Riders, and one of them managed to come back and do some stuff, or maybe if he is really talking about Mike. I mean, I don't know, but I think that line is sort of like it confused me just as much as it confused Daisy. But I don't know if it confused her in the same way, or if it's like just me kind of not really thinking probably about it. But I think if you guys have any thoughts on that, then let me know. What if you know what he means, then let me know. But yeah, that kind of confused me more than it actually, you know, made sense. So yeah. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've actually picked up from this episode. I didn't really write, like, I think I've only really filled out half my page, so not a whole lot written down. Still, just kind of mostly engrossed in how the episode went down. It was a great episode, really fun episode, and really fun continuation. We got somewhat of a Buskies reunion. We definitely got somewhat of a reunion, but maybe I mean it was definitely more like interaction wise rather than dialogue wise, like them literally being together in the field and them actually actively fighting together and fighting alongside each other. Like it was definitely more like that kind of reunion than them actually reuniting properly and like long lastingly at the actual base. Like that was more like an ending for the episode to actually simmer things down a little bit. But still, like a Buskids reunion in any shape or form, it's still something to embrace and cherish. So I'm glad we got that, and we still got plenty of, you know, Daisy Fitzsimmons content to enjoy, and I definitely did, so I'm not complaining on that part. But I think, you know, like going forward, I do hope we actually get more of like an actual interaction, more kind of dialogue between them, and actually Daisy maybe, I think Daisy may definitely kind of think as well that she may well think that she definitely has to reconcile with them properly and actually communicate with them, and actually maybe even kind of apologize for like how she's been in the past and how she's treated them and how distant she's been with the team and stuff, and especially after the kind of outbursts we've had in the past from both Fitz and Simmons. I think, you know, she's probably gonna have like a big speech or like an emotional kind of scene kind of hidden away just for future reference. So I guess I'll have to wait and see what that's like. But yeah, I mean, again, great episode, so I can't wait to see what's coming up next for this show. But yeah, that was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, Episode 8. So thank you guys, as always, so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what your thoughts are on the episode and what you enjoyed and what you look forward to in the coming episodes of this season. Once again, the full-length reaction for this episode will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, that is it. So, I will see you guys next time.